Perfect. Thank you all so much for your time. Respected panel, dear guests, I'm Rahul Iyer. I am a part of the recruitment function at Northern Trust. And I'm joined by Glory and Sanat from the Process Excellence team within Northern Trust. At the outset, thank you for taking your time, during a weekend to hear us out. The organizing team to coordinate and manage such an event during these times, and also the Northern Trust leadership team for giving us the opportunity to present the work that we have done. All client-related information, any names, we would not be able to reveal those due to confidentiality reasons. I'm sure you understand that. You've already heard from three of my colleagues, in the two earlier projects that we have done at Northern Trust, from Lokesh, Moeen, Asif. So you all definitely by now have an understanding about what Northern Trust does. But to give you a very nutshell overview about it, we're basically among the world's largest custodians. We have a rich heritage of over 130 years. And that makes us among the leaders in this particular segment. We support really wealthy individuals and families, sovereign wealth funds, some very highly successful hedge funds, and definitely the corporate brands. Right? Across the globe, we have a global presence of over 23 international locations and a partner strength of over 20,000. Northern Trust India, we set up about a little over 10 years back in order to enable this growth that the global organization was having. We continue to provide high quality service from the 4 locations that we have in Bangalore and Pune currently. HR and recruitment definitely has enabled this growth and ensured that we've hired the right kind of talent and have provided them with successful careers through their corporate journey. Recruitment. Now, recruitment is key to any firm, irrespective of the industry that we're in. And in the current competitive market that we're in, having a quick and an efficient recruitment journey, or the process of recruitment, I think is very, very essential. In order to rework and reassess the entire process that we follow currently at Northern, we collaborated with the Process Excellence team to relook at our internal and external hiring and the onboarding process and see what is our appetite for change. We definitely wanted to look at the various external clients that we currently interact with. Now, when I say clients, I'm referring to the various stakeholders in our process. And being in the recruitment team, we interact with multiple different external stakeholders outside of the HR world itself. So interaction with all of them and the time taken for each step. We work with the team to understand a SIPOC and various other methodologies, which I'm sure Glory will talk about, to identify the various different aspects of the process and where we can try to work things better. Right? The guidance received from our leadership, the experience from the team, we targeted at least reducing our cycle time by at least 15%. This led us to the culture of Kaizen that Asif spoke about. And all our brainstorming sessions with the wizards of process excellence like Glory and the others in the team, they led us to Kaizen. And that was an introduction to Kaizen for us. So I will now hand over to Glory to take you through the rest of the day.
Thank you, Rahul. Hi, everyone. Myself, Glory, and I also have Sanat here representing Process Excellence team from Northern Trust. So yes, we are here to share the story of a successful collaboration with talent acquisition team who is primarily involved in hiring and onboarding the right talent. And considering that this being an extensive process, it involves dependency on several functions within the HR department, such as comp and ben, learning and development, payroll, etc. So we thought it's good to have representations from each of these functions within the HR department on the same table so that we can have extensive discussions on some of the potential causes that actually leads to high cycle time. Hence, we decided to drive this initiative by going the Kaizen way. Now, as you see that this is a Kaizen charter wherein we've captured our customers' requirements, that is reducing the overall cycle time by 15%, right from the time the requisition is created until the time the offer is made. We also worked upon the Kaizen scope. Now, this is done in order to ensure that we don't deviate from our discussions during the Kaizen event. Hence, our in-scope is just the talent acquisition team who's involved in hiring and onboarding. And out of scope are rest of the functions within the HR. So it has been a common practice of Process Excellence team in Northern Trust that, we set a target way more than what has been set by the customer for us. So we thought, okay, let's increase this target so that we don't fail to meet the customer's target. Hence, we set a target as 20% overall reduction in the cycle time of the process. Apart from that, we will also be looking at how if we can identify any Kaikaku initiatives or large improvements or other automation opportunities, and how we could eliminate some of the non-value added steps. Benefits, now that we are looking at overall reduction in the cycle time, so definitely it will lead to some capacity creation within the team. And as agreed with the stakeholders, any capacity created, it will be accounted as cost avoidance so that the FTEs can be repurposed for more quality sourcing. Kaizen cross-functional team involves a sponsor who is the HR head, champion, talent acquisition head, and consultants from process excellence team or business process excellence team. We've invited more consultants from process excellence team to be part of the event. The reason being, we can get different diverse perspectives from these consultants. And a project team is primarily a talent acquisition team, and a primary downstream team, which is the HR services as well. So our Kaizen approach primarily focuses on identifying problem or opportunity, analyzing the process, develop an optimum solution, implement the solution, study the result, sustenance, and project closure, sign off. Now, this slide basically talks about a summary of a Kaizen event plan, a Kaizen strategy. So as we all know that it's divided into 3 stages, which is pre-Kaizen preparation, Kaizen event, which is planned for 5-day workshop, and focusing on implementing the solutions. So as part of pre-Kaizen preparation, as explained earlier, we worked on the Kaizen charter by liaising with the talent acquisition team, and we've captured the customer requirements. We've also worked on data collection in order to determine the volume metric, also collected the aging report to understand the total cycle time of each of these recs. Kaizen event, which is planned for 5 days, it's closely aligned to our approach, which is orientation, understanding current process map, current state process, developing future state design, improve design, and then sustenance. And then finally, we'll look at implementing the solutions. So we began the event with a motivational quote by Taichi Ono: progress cannot be generated when we are satisfied with the existing situation. And then we kicked off the event with a speech by our process excellence executive manager, who spoke about the importance of the event. And then this is done just to set the right tone. And then post which we conducted training sessions for the Kaizen team, which included topics such as 8 types of wastes or key principles of lean, application of some of the lean tenets such as 5S, Pokayoke, Judoka, etc. Now, this is done mainly to ensure that, the Kaizen team is educated about the relevant tools and concepts so that, it could help them in identifying some of the causes, and that leads to high cycle time, and ensuring that the event runs smooth and making it more engaging. So once the training was completed, now that the team knows what are the different types of wastes and are introduced to other lean terminologies, now the team documented the high-level process map, which is also called a sidewalk. Also, they mapped the detailed current state process for both external as well as for internal hiring by performing a value stream mapping exercise. And once we completed the value stream mapping exercise, we've also performed the waste mapping exercise. And the outcomes of this were we were able to identify the total number of value-added NVA, BVA for both external and internal hiring. So as you can see, a total of 60 improvement opportunities were identified for external hiring, and a total of 42 improvement opportunities were identified for internal hiring. And we've also highlighted the areas where we've identified quick wins or Kaizen improvements or Kaizen blitz for both external and internal hiring. So once we completed the value stream mapping exercise, we moved on to the next stage, which is the brainstorming session. And out of the brainstorming session, we've, the team were able to generate a total of 102 process improvement ideas. So by multi-voting, expert advice, and root cause analysis, we further funneled down to a total of 70 potential improvement ideas. However, we did not stop there because we wanted to also perform effort impact analysis to see if we are deprioritizing any of them. Hence, we deprioritized around 12 ideas. That leaves us with a total of 58 recommendations or solutions. Now that we have an extensive list of recommendations or solutions, we thought of looking at implementing these in a phased approach. So basically, a Kaizen focus was just to identify the quick wins. So we first identified, a total of 13 quick wins out of the 58 solutions or recommendations, and we've scoped that for phase 1. And we look forward to the closure of the same by end of September. Why end of September? Because out of 13, 9 are already being tested and implemented in Gemba. And we still have 4 more to go that is ongoing. So when I'm saying ongoing, it's already been tested, but the discussions are in progress to get the final approval from a global leadership. So we look forward to implement the rest of them as well by end of September. Rest of the solutions, which is 45 solutions that are left, that involves both medium and complex solutions. These are primarily related to automation opportunities or system enhancements. So basically these are high impact solutions, or it can be driven as Kaikaku initiatives, and hence we scoped in the same for phase 2 and phase 3. I will talk more on that in the coming slide.
5 more minutes, Lori. 5 more minutes.
Thank you. So in the next slide, what you see here is the summary of the quick wins tracker. Now, this is a summary of the total quick wins identified out of the 58 solutions. And as I stated earlier, 9 of them being implemented. I can call out on 1 or 2 of them. So first one being the recreation, so which is the first step actually in the entire process, wherein the hiring manager, once he creates the rec, it falls into the queue of the talent acquisition team. And then the team leader of the talent acquisition team will work on performing the work allocation and assign these recs to different recruiters. It is a known fact that the recruiter in Northern Trust, I mean, every recruiter is assigned different department for which he will have to hire partners or hire employees. Now that we already know that, so why not have a provision in the system wherein the recruiters can self-assign these recs? And that way we don't have to wait for the work allocation. So that was this improvement idea, and once it was implemented, we have observed a reduction in wait time. Second thing is, evaluation form. So what is evaluation form? Evaluation form is nothing but once the hiring manager completes the interview of any candidate, he completes the evaluation form. So the manual step for the recruiter is to go and check each and every evaluation form, the status of each and every evaluation form onto the application. Now, this was eliminated by liaising with the technical team. If there is a way, if we could generate a report from the system that could give the status of all evaluation forms in one go, and this has considerably reduced the manual processing of the recruiter. So likewise, we have identified the other solutions as well, and we still have 4 ongoing, which we have already tested, and we foresee to be implemented by end of this month. So once these are implemented, we developed a sustenance plan, and then we sent out the report to the senior management in order to showcase what have been accomplished. And this is the summary of the benefits realized out of the 9 solutions that are implemented in phase 1. And the key highlight here is we have reduced cycle time by 10.2%, and we have achieved this by reducing wait time, which is of approximately 5 days. So this we have achieved only by implementing 9 solutions that are scoped in phase 1. And then we have also eliminated certain other wastes, such as, over processing or, multiple handovers. So these were eliminated or minimized by applying 5S, Hyjunka, and Jitoka. We've also introduced standardized improvement plans in order to reduce the overall variation in TA partner processing. And cost savings. So when we see that there is some sort of efficiency has been created within the team, both for external hiring as well as internal hiring, just by implementing 9 solutions. We have not put in a number here because we still have 4 more to be implemented, and hence the stakeholder was not comfortable to put a number here. But yes, efficiency has been created, and that will be accounted as cost avoidance, wherein we can repurpose the FTEs on more quality sourcing. So the coming slide gives a way forward for the rest of the phases. We look forward for implementing the 4 more solutions, that is by end of this month. And phase 2 and phase 3 primarily focuses on medium and complex solutions of Kaikaku initiatives. It's mainly related to workflow solutions or, BBA, RPA, and system enhancement. This requires further scrutiny because, it involves various other components such as budget required in order to enhance the system or upgrade the system. Hence, the discussions are ongoing with the senior leadership. The next slide gives the summary of the complete initiative, and the biggest win of this initiative was we were able to come up with totally 58 feasible solutions out of the 5-day event. And we were also able to build a continuous improvement culture in the organization. And this was the first initiative process excellence initiative within the enabling functions or support functions in Northern Trust. And we were able to create interest from other departments or from other functions within HR, and hence we were able to source more projects that could be driven in a Kaizen way, or maybe green belt or black belt projects. So apart from that, partners also who were part of the event had new learnings. Now they are able to apply some of the learnings what they have had from the event on their day-to-day BAUs. Some of the key challenges where we did face some delay in implementing some of these solutions, the reason being the primary reason being COVID-19 pandemic. So it took time for the business to get adjusted to the new normal, and then we look at implementing the solutions. Also, we faced changes in sponsor and project champion during the project journey. Hence, there was some delay in implementations. So rest assured, it was a win-win journey for both talent acquisition as well as for process excellence. Thank you, judges and MTS, for providing this opportunity to showcase our success story. So we are open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, team. So Ashish, Rohit again, any question from your side?
Just one question. The cycle time reduction for the internal hiring is understandable, but how you achieve the external hiring in external hiring?
So in external hiring, we have reduced wait time, which is approximately around 5 days. It was earlier measured as 49 days based on the aging report that is generated by the system. Now it's reduced to 5 days. So these were outcomes of some of the solutions that were already implemented. One was on the recreation and certain other solutions as well for when there's high processing time in evaluating the status of every evaluation form. So Rahul, do you want to add in any more points onto this?
Right, Lori. So like Lori rightly mentioned, I think evaluation forms, the kind of the number of evaluation forms and interviews we're referring to is quite high number. So reducing the time in being able to view these many evaluation forms and being able to assess these many candidates, a couple of the other ideas that, which are still in only partial implementation and things, is already giving us a little bit of a idea about where we are headed, because we can gradually see that there is an improvement in the way we are able to reduce the time taken to complete these specific activities. If at all we got a job description from a hiring manager within a particular time, that has drastically reduced because of some system changes that we're trying to do, right? So keeping that in mind, that's the kind of cycle time that we've looked at.
But how there will be a cost saving by reducing the cycle time for the external hiring? Because internal hiring, you can reduce the, say, internal staff and all, but how there is a cost saving by reducing the external hiring cycle time?
So wait time is one of the component, that has actually led to reduction in cycle time. Apart from that, we have also reduced some of the processing time by applying some of the, as you can see, we have applied 5S, we have applied Jidoka. There are even minute changes because let's say the system that is used by the talent acquisition team. Now, there were some functions which was not enabled specifically from APAC region, but it is still being used globally. So we just looked into it. We did a deep dive. If there is an option on this system, if we could enable this function, then probably it would certainly reduce some of the processing time. Let's say, for example, as you see, some of them that has been implemented. Point number 8, where you see manual processing of sending job alerts to partners. Now there is already a function on the the system used by the talent acquisition team, wherein you can send auto job alerts. Okay. However, this was not being used. Then while liaising with our global stakeholders, we got to know about this. And then we liaised with the IT team and we got this function enabled. So it was a quick change. So these were some of the small changes that were made, and it has actually certainly reduced the total processing time apart from the wait time. That's how efficiency is created within the team. However, we still have 4 more solutions to be implemented. That's the reason why we have not added a number at this point of time.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
Just
Rahul? Yeah. Right.
Yeah, just one question. I mean, did you see any benefit in terms of quality of hiring, or was it only the efficiency and cycle time?
So we look at we primarily focused on quality sourcing. If there was an opportunity for moving some of these tasks, especially internal job posting, we wanted to move that to onboarding team, so that we ensure that there's load leveling, balancing the workload, so that the recruiter can primarily focus on quality sourcing. Rahul, do you want to add anything on that aspect?
No, Gloria, I think you just touched it perfectly. I think the purpose of us being able to do that is for us to be, to do some load leveling. So we're able to focus a little more on the quality external hiring that we do. Internal hiring is something that, we've already done our HR assessments and then we've onboarded someone. The internal hiring was taken care or is being taken care by the onboarding team, which can have their own process on the internal aspect. And a recruiter whose primary responsibilities are external hiring, the quality of hires automatically improves. The time he dedicates towards external hiring has already increased now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so quick 2 questions, I think, to the team from my side. One is that you mentioned about the cycle time reduction of external hiring from 49 days to 44 days. Did you do any benchmarking to know that what could be the benchmark globally in your industry? How good this 44 days is?
Yeah. So now in this this data we've received based on the aging report, that at the moment it is 49 days, and however we have not included the notice period. Yes, we did look at benchmarking what is there at the industry, but then it's approximately, for some of the industries, mostly including the they're trying to include even the notice period as well. So we did not get that approximate number, but yes, we've got 1 or 2 cases wherein in some industries it is like 52 days or approximately 52 to 55 days.
Okay. The another question is related to the various stakeholders who are engaged in the talent acquisition process. So did you measure their satisfaction or experience with the process? Means, is there any way you look at, let's say, capturing the satisfaction of, let's say, a potential employee who join, or maybe your partner, or maybe a function which has raised a job requisition,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
do you measure satisfaction post, let's say, the talent acquisition?
We have not measured the satisfaction of the hiring managers, because as I told, the project, it's only for phase 1. We've only implemented 9 solutions. We still have few more solutions to be implemented. That's the remaining 45, based on which we see that there will be a certainly a reduction in the overall cycle time, post which we can look at measuring the satisfaction, because that part of the analysis is still pending. We need to go through a lot of scrutiny. Here, the primary focus was only to identify the quick wins and if it could bring in some kind of a breather to the process. And this was a first ever initiative within the enabling functions or within the HR department. So we first thought, let's start with small changes and then move on to the larger improvements.
Devendra, just to answer your question a little more directly, we currently already do, evaluate our employee, especially from candidates who we have onboarded. So we currently already do that, but I'm sure after we've implemented a lot of these changes, we should be able to focus that and get some targeted results on, what we've been able to achieve.
Sure. Also, best practice organizations, if you see, let's see if I have to talk about talent acquisition as a process. Sorry, can you hear me?
Sorry to interrupt. This is Sanath here. Just wanted to add one more point to what Gloria and Rahul said. Yes, I do agree that we did not do this, customer satisfaction. but we had a stakeholder management which was brought in the project in the start, wherein we calibrated all the stakeholders what we are present, and we also decided the frequency and how we are going to communicate. So we tried to keep the transparency and manage the satisfaction of the customer at all different phases of project. So right now, I cannot tell you on a scale that how much it, but yeah, that's where we see that, after even, there was a change of management and pandemic which hit us, we have successfully closed 9, and we are very optimistic that all the 4 will be signed up by this month. And that's where we are optimistic for phase 2 and phase 3, which Glory highlighted. Just wanted to add this point. Thanks, Devraj, for the time.
Sure. Thanks, Sanath. So I just wanted to add that, as a talent acquisition process, so one of the the measure that best practice organizations having is that NPS, Net Promoter Score, and who are the various stakeholders. Like you said, hiring manager is one, and the person who is helping us to get that talent, so talent acquisition partner. So how satisfied they are with our process, how we are dealing with them, and obviously a potential employee, potential recruitee, right, who is going to join.
Right.
Let's see if I could not get through the interview process, then also what is the experience, because it talks about the brand, right? When he or she is not able to join because of not selecting them, but the experience he or she would talk about in the market actually would build your brand, right? So what is the NPS of those guys, and what are those guys who had joined you, how satisfied they were in the entire talent acquisition process? So maybe, yeah, I think going forward, I think what you're mentioning is probably you would like to look at it. Thank you, Tim.
Sure. Thank you, Devraj.
So